Here's the thing. People love to pin all their hopes on externals. Goals, going back to what we were saying earlier, goals being one of them.
Yeah, I fucking
People
hate
define
big
themselves
goals.
by their goals. And well, I remember a conversation on LinkedIn. It was before COVID, it was at least 9 months ago. And this woman was saying about how she's in control of her goals. And I said to her, "You're not." "Oh, yes, I am." And I said, "You're not." And I can easily prove it, because you could have all the goals in the world. You could have the best plan in the world, perfectly executed. And a meteorite or a 747 could land on your house like it did at Lockerbie in the 80s. And you could be dead and you won't reach your goals. And that's beyond your control. "Yeah, but I choose to believe I'm in control of my destiny." And I says, "Well, you can choose to believe you're Napoleon fucking Bonaparte if you want. It doesn't make it true. Your opinion, which is what a belief is not the same fucking fact, is it, you stupid cow?" I was probably a bit more polite than that, but possibly not. I can't remember now. But this is the thing, none of us are in control of whether we reach our goals or not. And the analogy I use is the archer. I mean, I'm a big fan of the old longbow. I've got a book up there. It's about 1.5 inches thick, and it's like yay big by yay big, hardback, beautiful book. It's called The Wall Bow. It's all about the fucking yew bow, the old English bow. And the analogy I use is hitting your goals, aiming for your goals, is a little bit like an archer. Now, the old archers, they would train from little boys with little bows and arrows right up until adulthood, 10, 15 years or so, to the point where they found skeletons and they're deformed because the right arm is massively powerful, pulling back, because these things are 170-pound draw, and they were so hard to draw. You couldn't aim it like this. You turned your entire body, so aiming it became instinctive. So it took years and years and years. But when they got good, they were good. They could, for instance, the visor of a suit of armor, they could put an arrow through the visor, maybe 300 or 400 yards, or something ridiculous like that. Maybe not that far, but certainly hundreds of feet. So the French, when they were fighting the French, couldn't even have the fucking visors up because they just go. And these guys are very skilled. So you can imagine an archer who's been training for 15, 20 years on the village green. This guy knows how to shoot an arrow. He can line up his shot. He can draw the arrow perfectly. He can release the arrow at exactly the right time. It's the perfect textbook shot. But in between the arrow leaving the bow and hitting the knight in the face, the wind could come up, the knight could move, someone else could come in between the two, a bird could fly in the way. The arrow could shatter once he lets it go, because they would sometimes do that. Those things are all beyond his control. So no matter what he did, the perfect executed shot would still miss the target, didn't reach his goal. Well, our plans are like that. We can have the most meticulous, laid out plan and not reach it. And it's way beyond our control. We could die, our target could disappear, because it just might be. You might say, "I want to get a person as a client as my goal this year." Say, I don't know, sake of argument, I want to become personal assistant to Jeff Bezos. Well, Jeff Bezos could die. Then you'll fail in your goal, and you can't control that, because you don't control whether or not Jeff Bezos dies. And rich people do die, because Steve Jobs did. All these things can happen beyond your control, and they are beyond your control. So if you think about it, basing your future happiness, your mental well-being, your sense of self, your self-worth, your self-esteem, basing all those things on whether or not you achieve your goals is folly, because all you're doing is you're basically saying, "I'm throwing it all to luck," because that's what luck is. Luck is functionally anything we don't control. That is luck. That's what luck is. Good luck and bad luck, that's what they are. I've always found now it's far better for me to live by 5 words, focusing on my own actions, and they are: did you do your best? Or in my case, did I do my best? 5 words. And if you did do your best, regardless of the outcome, which you don't control, you are successful. Your best.
I would agree with that. I'd agree with that. We could also...
It works at every level too. I mean, you can imagine a single, say I'm writing an email. I admit every day I write an email, I don't do my best. I will admit that. But if I was that concerned about it and do one every single day, as long as I write that email perfectly every day, if that's all I've got to do that day, and I do it as best I possibly can, with all my copywriting knowledge and expertise, we'd make more money, we'd make more sales. I know we would. That would be successful, but it's not guaranteed, because sometimes you won't. But then it works on every single level. It ramps up to, if I do everything within my power to get to get Jeff Bezos as my client, if I'm his PA, if I keep doing the right things, the chances are I will succeed. If I don't, it's beyond my control. but I'll still be successful. I can still go to bed at night and feel good that I've done my best. Isn't that what life should be about? Maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't speak for anyone else except myself.
It's definitely better than setting crazy goals, as you said, that are completely out of your control. Just every day, wake up, do your best.
Any goal that's not to do with yourself is outside your control, even if it's tomorrow I'm going to go into town. That's not within your control. Now, to say it tomorrow, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to have the perfect journey into town. That's within your control. But actually getting into town might get hit by a nuclear bomb. You might not have a town to go to.
I tell you what, I've got a fitting.
Let me just turn this fan heater off.
Go on, mate. I have a fitting story that fits into that. I started having weird aches and pains in my joints, so I set the goal of, right, I'm gonna lose X amount of weight. I can't remember what it was because I put on some timber because I was fucking sore everywhere. And part of losing that weight was exercising more. But of course, the more I exercised, the more I hurt, to the point where it was unbearable. So I went to the doctors, diagnosed with a type of arthritis. So all of a sudden, my goal of losing weight is now much harder to achieve. Now a simple change to, right, what you're going to do every day instead is you're going to do some yoga and you're going to do some walking every day. Well, that's far more manageable than saying you are going to lose 3 stone.
Yeah,
because ultimately that was taken away from me at that moment, because it's impossible without starving myself. It was impossible to do that much exercise to lose the amount of weight I wanted to do.
That's a really good
because
analogy.
I couldn't do the exercise.
I mean,